A life of sickness, a body that always failed him. He studied martial arts, dreaming of a second chance. And then, his wish is granted, he's reincarnated. He enrolls in the Empire's #1 academy. A new rival challenges him to show his true power. But the challenger is simply outmatched. He finally has the strong body he always wanted, combining it with the tactical mind from his past. He believes his dream is finally within his grasp, or so he thought. But a dangerous power awakens deep inside him. His body is consumed by a demonic rampage. A mysterious man reveals it's all because of a curse. A female knight screams his name, Louis. He snaps back to reality, horrified by the carnage. Even in this new life, a cruel fate haunts him. A voice inside taunts him, calling him a monster. It claims he shares the destiny of a fallen hero. The source of the curse beats within his heart. But Louis refuses to accept this dark destiny. He will shatter his own fate with his bare hands. We flash back to the Candria Arcanist Academy. A younger Louis stands in awe of the grand school. At just 13, he's one of many applicants. A familiar voice calls out his name. Two figures rush to catch up with him. A woman reminds him to hide his true hair color. She fears the deadly exam and that he'll be a target. But a man insists this is the only way forward. This is the only academy that accepts commoners. Louis's one chance lies within these walls. This is the Candria Academy, one of 10 great schools. The Empire's strongest arcanists train the next generation. Here, Grand Masters forge the Empire's future heroes. For decades, it has produced heroes from common blood, forging legends that will echo through the ages. The man Julian says this is the perfect environment. Louis agrees, vowing to become a Grand Master. He'll get strong enough to take ownership of the orphanage. His foster mother is completely taken by surprise. She feels like a failure, unable to even cure his rampage. Louis reassures her, saying he's only alive because of her. We flash back to his first life, a dream crushed by sickness. Though his body failed, his passion for martial arts never died. He became a brilliant scholar, reviving the fighting industry. But a jealous rival stole his life's work. Even his own parents abandoned him in the end. His final wish was for a healthy body and a real family. And so he was reborn in the Candria Empire. A nun finds the infant, but his appearance frightens her. Louis awakens, confused as she fears he's a bad omen. She sees his innocence and refuses to abandon him. She names him Louis Kirill, giving him a family. But an arrogant noble shoves his mother aside. His mother, Laciella, falls hard to the ground. The nobles mock his dream of becoming a Grand Master. A cold fury ignites in the young boy's eyes. The noble feigns disgust, worried about his luck. Louis trembles with rage, his fists clench tight. But before he can attack, Julian grabs his arm. Julian warns him to focus on the exam instead. His mother reminds him of his promise. The warning snaps Louis out of his rage. He apologizes, calming down for his family. The nobles mock him as they walk away. Suddenly, the crowd parts for a new arrival. Lord Cain Aranka, heir to a great family. Louis burns with a silent, vengeful promise. He reassures his mother with a confident smile. He vows to become a Grand Master. He'll learn magic and prove everyone wrong. Louis runs forward with a new resolve. He vows to protect what's precious to him. His mother worries about the impossible odds. But Julian knows his son is incredibly stubborn. He says their only job is to support him. Louis enters the exam hall, surrounded by older applicants. A powerful figure descends to begin the examination. He introduces himself as the principal, Aronian Smith. The crowd gasps, a Grand Master is overseeing the test. The world's power system is revealed, from apprentice to saint. Grand Master is the third highest rank in the world. The first test, climb stairs guarded by senior students. Exam passes are placed just behind these powerful guards. Only 1,000 applicants will get a pass to continue. When the passes are gone, the exam is over. With a single word, the brutal test begins. Cocky applicants charge forward, expecting an easy fight. But a senior student greets them with a cruel smile. He unleashes a terrifying power, welcoming them to hell. His dark magic warps reality, trapping the first wave. The first wave is instantly overwhelmed by the pressure. Dozens are disqualified before they can even react. The crowd recognizes their attacker, Lord Sheath, a top scorer. But Louis senses something more, pure killing intent. The other applicants are paralyzed with confusion. A silver-haired boy explains it was just an aura. He calmly steps forward, completely unaffected. He says anyone with a weak will would simply pass out from the sheer terror. Lord Sheath smirks, impressed by the boy's resolve. He scoffs, saying there's no room for commoners here. But Louis's eyes burn with cold defiance. The senior student locks his gaze on the boy. He unleashes a torrent of power, vowing to make him kneel. The immense pressure crushes the other applicants. Yet the silver-haired boy remains completely unfazed. He mocks the attack, calling it weak. But for him, this is nothing new. He's faced true monsters in the past. He's trained in a world of life and death. He's fought through hordes of real monsters. His eyes blaze with a cold, hard light. He's faced down foes with true killing intent. He scoffs, knowing this intimidation tactic is useless. He erupts forward, shattering the seniors. He rockets up the stairs, a blur of motion. He's going to show these arrogant nobles what true killing intent really feels like. He unleashes a punch radiating immense power. The other applicants are stunned by his audacity. Lord Sheath is frozen in pure disbelief. The punch stops just inches from his face. But it was a feint. A kick sends the senior flying. Louis's eyes are cold, his expression unreadable. Lord Sheath is left utterly speechless on the ground. The crowd whispers, stunned by his magicless attack. He calmly walks past the defeated senior. He heads straight for the board of exam passes. He calmly takes a pass, securing his spot. Lord Sheath seethes with humiliated rage. Enraged, Lord Sheath lunges forward for revenge. But Louis meets his charge with cold fury. A powerful strike is suddenly blocked by a new figure. Sheath can't believe his magic was stopped without any. The blonde instructor declares that Louis has passed. He reminds Sheath that the academy treats all equally. Humbled, the senior student bows his head in apology. The instructor formally congratulates Louis on passing. But he notes the boy's hair color is concerning. Louis looks down, hiding his expression from view. Louis feigns ignorance, a smirk on his face. The instructor suddenly grabs his chin. He offers a potion to hide his unique traits. Louis resolves to pass the next test first. He walks off, leaving the humiliated senior behind. Lord Sheath watches him go, seething with rage. The principal fumes, vowing to remember Louis's name. The second exam begins in a massive arena. The field is narrowed to 1,000, mostly nobles. Arrogant nobles shove past him, but he's unfazed. A noble sneers, vowing he won't be so lucky next time. But Louis's expression remains cold and unfazed. Another claims he only passed because of the principal. Louis just smirks, calling them complete idiots. The noble is stunned by his sheer audacity. He says the Grand Master knows better than they do. Enraged, the noble threatens to knock him out. Louis gives him a smug, challenging smile. The noble's eyes burn with pure, unthinking rage. He takes the bait, throwing a punch at Louis's head. But Louis's eyes are cold and calculating. He meets the punch with a two-fingered strike. A precise jab stops the noble in his tracks. The noble freezes, his body suddenly paralyzed. Louis used a meridian severance point strike. A swift kick sends both nobles flying backward. Their friends can only watch in utter shock. The arrogant noble slams hard into the ground. The other applicants are left completely stunned. His friend rushes over, but the fight is already over. The noble panics, unable to feel his own arm. He accuses Louis of using poison, vowing to report him. But Louis calmly corrects him, it was martial arts. He tried to hold back, but he has his limits. He warns them, if you start a fight, be ready to get hit. But his punch is suddenly caught mid-swing, stopped by a blonde applicant in the crowd. The stranger asks if Louis is willing to be disqualified. The warning gives Louis a moment of pause, but the nobles tell the stranger to stay out of it. The blonde applicant turns, warning them to back off. The nobles are stunned, but their leader tells them to stop. He decides it's not worth it and walks away. He seethes, convinced that everyone is just trash. Louis watches them leave, thinking all nobles are the same. The stranger approaches, impressed by Louis's courage. He extends a hand, offering to form an alliance. But other applicants swarm him, calling him Lord Kane. Nobles from powerful families all beg to join his team. They reveal he's from the Sage Aranka family, a guaranteed pass. Louis scoffs, unimpressed by the fawning nobles. Suddenly, a massive magic circle erupts in the arena. The principal descends, congratulating the survivors. He announces the next phase, the power test. Glowing marks suddenly appear on every applicant's chest. Lord Kane recognizes his as an Earth attribute mark. His eyes widen as a strange force takes hold. He stumbles, his body suddenly feeling incredibly heavy. A massive gravity magic circle engulfs the arena. The test is a battle under immense magical pressure. The nobles buckle under the Grand Master's magic. But someone points out a figure walking with ease. Lord Kane strolls through the pressure, completely unfazed. But even he is shocked by what he sees ahead. Someone is scaling the arena wall with raw strength. It's Louis leaping onto the main stage. The principal greets him with a knowing smile. The crowd recognizes the commoner who passed first. Even Lord Kane admits he can barely stand. Only those left standing will advance to the next test. The principal announces the next phase of the exam. Applicants are told to choose a weapon for the test. Louis grabs a sword, testing its weight and balance. He grips the hilt, a familiar feeling from his past life. His swordsmanship is already far beyond the others. The rule is simple, stay on the stage or be disqualified. With everyone armed, the principal begins the final test. He snaps his fingers, ordering the release of bound slimes. The arena floor shifts, but the slimes are nowhere to be seen. The applicants whisper, wondering what a bound slime is. But Louis's eyes snap upward, sensing a threat. Glowing blue orbs begin to rain from the ceiling. They splat onto the arena floor, taking shape. The applicants finally see the so-called bound slimes. The rules are simple, dodge, block, or defeat for points. The principal reveals only the top 100 will advance. Louis' expression hardens at the steep odds. The slimes suddenly begin to attack the students. Arrogant applicants scoff, calling them low-level monsters. One charges forward, expecting an easy 5 points. He charges forward, ready to strike it down. But the slime glares back with surprising fury. It launches itself forward like a cannonball. The applicant's face twists in pure shock. The slime smashes directly into his face. He's sent flying, stunning the other students. Another slime crashes into an unsuspecting applicant. The students are completely caught off guard. Someone screams a warning, more are falling. The arena floor erupts in total chaos. From the balcony, the instructors watch the chaos. They tally the points for each surviving applicant. An instructor notes the heirs of 2 great houses are present. She wonders if a new record will be set this year. But another points out the impressive commoners. The principal agrees, calling Louis an interesting one. However, an instructor notes a strange detail. Louis hasn't moved a single step from his spot. Other applicants mock him, saying he can't keep up. They sneer that a commoner is a commoner in the end. A slime hurtles directly towards Louis' position. It closes in, a blur of blue fury. But Louis doesn't even flinch from the attack. The slime zips past, striking another applicant. The other students are stunned he dodged it. Another slime projectile shoots across the arena. It slams into a student, sending him flying. Louis' eyes track every single movement. Suddenly, a barrage of slimes rains down on him. The nobles sneer, certain he can't possibly escape. But Louis' expression is one of pure focus. His eyes narrow, analyzing the chaos around him. We flash back to his training in a frozen wasteland. His friends hesitate, worried about throwing rocks. But Louis insists, wanting to test a theory. They finally agree, hurling stones right at him. The projectiles fly through the snowy air. Suddenly, Louis' eyes begin to glow with power. He recalls a hypothesis from his previous life. He trained his brain to calculate and react instantly. He believed his brain could handle any attack. His mind collects data on every projectile, calculating their speed and trajectory, allowing his body to evade every single one. His friends can only watch in utter shock. The training is exhausting but successful. They rush forward, amazed by his new technique. He calls it void combat calculation. It's a skill that predicts the outcome of a fight, before the first move is even made. Back in the arena, his eyes glow with intense focus. His mind fills with complex, high-speed calculations. He tracks the speed and trajectory of every slime. He stands perfectly still in the eye of the storm. He notes their one weakness: they only charge straight. By predicting their rebounds and flight paths, he can weave through the storm of attacks. He effortlessly sidesteps every single projectile. He racks up points just by dodging them. But now it's time to go on the offensive. He declares it's his turn to attack. He unleashes a martial arts sword slash. Lord Cain watches in stunned disbelief. The instructors realize he's reading their movements. His perception rivals that of a trained fighter. Cain sees a powerful ally he must recruit. But Louis' attention is already elsewhere. Another slime hurtles toward his blind spot. He prepares a precise sword-piercing technique. But another sword intercepts the slime first. Louis glares, accusing the stranger of stealing his kill. The blonde noble smirks, saying he stole from someone else. He unleashes a swift, elegant sword strike. The slime is cleaved cleanly in two. He's poaching kills from the other struggling applicants. He explains he's stealing points from the weak. He introduces himself as Cain, proposing an alliance. Louis remains silent, sizing up his new rival. Cain proposes a competition to see who scores higher. He challenges Louis to show his true power. Louis smirks, accepting the noble's challenge. Cain grips his rapier, ready for the contest. Louis adds a condition: the loser obeys the winner. Their new alliance draws the attention of the crowd. But Lord Sheath's followers see their opening. Their leader gives a sinister, vengeful smile. A slime projectile zips right past them. The archers take aim, ready to attack. A slime hurtles directly toward the new team. But Louis' eyes narrow, sensing the true danger. He sidesteps a slime, his senses on high alert. A volley of arrows suddenly rains down on him. A powerful impact rocks the arena stage. Cain turns, shocked by the unexpected attack. The archer smirks, confident he's hit his target. But a small, knowing smirk crosses Louis' face. The archer's confidence shatters into pure shock. Louis caught all 3 arrows with his bare hand. His enemies can't believe his impossible reaction time. Cain asks if he's okay, but Louis just scoffs. The archer seethes, now aiming for Lord Cain. He charges up a dark magic double arrow. The enchanted projectiles rocket toward their target. Cain deflects the first 2 arrows with ease. But the dark magic projectile is unstoppable. He freezes, knowing he can't block it in time. A sudden spray of blood erupts in the air. Louis' hand has caught the deadly arrow. He tells Cain that he was the real target. The instructors debate disqualifying the archers. The instructor decides to let it play out for now. Louis turns to Cain, a new plan forming. He smirks, asking if Cain knows about baseball. 2 slimes rocket toward them from opposite sides. His mind fills with complex physics calculations. His eyes glow with a cold, focused light. He swings his sword like a powerful bat, turning the slime into a deadly projectile. The archers watch in horror as it flies toward them. The slime smashes into its new target with brutal force. The archer screams, sent flying across the arena. He's knocked out cold, officially disqualified. Louis lands as Kane calls his game interesting. The second archer seethes, watching his friend fall. But when he looks back, Louis has vanished. A voice calls out, Louis is right above him. He bats another slime, taking out number 2. The projectile smashes directly into the archer's face. He's launched into the air, his face contorted. His friend is disqualified, leaving the last archer stunned. Louis appears behind the last archer, his eyes cold and menacing. The terrified archer threatens him with the wrath of the seniors. But a foot suddenly trips him from behind. Kane sends him sprawling with a casual trip. He turns to Louis, checking on his injured hand. Louis grabs his wrist, giving a begrudging compliment. Kane scoffs, revealing he's from the great Aranka family. These legendary clans have produced multiple Grand Masters. Their influence across the empire is immense. They rival the power of the royal family itself. Louis and Kane fight back-to-back against the odds, but other nobles are enraged by the commoners' success. They vow to stop the duo from stealing their points. Louis and Kane lock eyes, ready for the challenge. A mob charges, screaming for commoners to disappear. Kane's followers see he's being targeted by the mob. They rush forward to protect their leader from the attack. The arena erupts into a chaotic free-for-all. A red-haired woman smirks, finding the chaos interesting. She and her partner charge in to make the nobles pay. Louis knows he's a target, drawing too much heat. Suddenly, the slimes change their attack pattern. A small girl with a staff trips another applicant. The red-haired woman sends a noble flying. A new brawler watches the chaos with glee. He laughs, finding the battle exhilarating. He decides fighting people is more fun than just beating up slimes. He unleashes a devastating spin with his hammer. His eyes glow as he screams for everyone to move. His spinning attack sends bodies flying everywhere. The brawler lands, ready for another round. The arena floor is littered with the fallen. The instructors worry, but the principal is amused. Another frets about disqualifying so many nobles. But the principal says the academy has its own rules. Suddenly, a massive beam of light strikes the arena. The principal descends, declaring the second exam is over. He says the final scores will be announced later. The gravity magic lifts and students collapse in exhaustion. The injured are directed to a table of healing potions. Louis holds one, amazed by its mysterious power. He hesitates, knowing how expensive they are. Kane smirks, telling him not to worry about their bet. An instructor summons a scroll to announce the rankings. Kane asks Louis what rank he managed to get. The nobles mock Louis, whose name is nowhere to be seen. The instructor announces the top 5, starting with Miliana Royce. Kane Aranka takes the 4th place spot. The red-haired brawler Faye Durahan comes in 3rd. Louis worries he was disqualified for fighting the nobles, but his name is called 2nd place Louis Kirill. Kane is stunned, asking who that could possibly be. He realizes it's the commoner standing right beside him. Kane accepts his loss, but Louis delays his prize. The instructor prepares to announce the 1st place winner. A new record is set by a brawler named Neil Gunn. The brawler smirks, challenging the other applicants. The crowd is shocked. 2 commoners took the top spots. A small girl tugs on Faye's armored gauntlet. Faye smirks, eager to challenge the top scorers. The nobles seethe, humiliated by their defeat. Their leader calls them a disgrace to nobility. The instructors note this is an unprecedented result. The principal reveals a hidden purpose for the orphanages. It's to prove that true strength ignores social status. He orders the survivors to the next venue. Faye wonders aloud who is the stronger of the two. They arrive at the final exam's training ground. The final test is a survival battle. An instructor explains they'll be teleported into the forest. Their goal is to collect emblems by any means necessary. Only the top 10 emblem collectors will be admitted. Kane warns that the top scorers are now prime targets. Louis realizes the rankings were designed to create chaos. The instructor challenges them to show their full power. Louis stands alone, ready to win no matter what. But a noble immediately steps forward to challenge him. A hulking noble appears, vowing revenge for their humiliation. Louis's eyes are cold, ready for the coming fight. The nobles surround him, vowing he's all alone now. But Louis's eyes dart, assessing the ambush. An archer takes aim from a hidden perch. He realizes the staff leaked his location. The first attacker lunges with a downward strike. A heavy axe swing tears through the ground. 2 spearmen charge in for a pincer attack. Louis leaps high, evading their deadly thrusts. His eyes gleam with a sudden, brilliant idea. He unleashes a spinning sword strike in midair. He lands, but an arrow zips right past him. The noble leader screams for him to just die. He weaves through a storm of coordinated attacks. A glowing arrow streaks through the air. His eyes widen as another one closes in. He barely deflects it with a desperate swing. The archer prepares another enchanted shot. He mocks the commoner for his lack of magic. But Louis' speed leaves the archer frustrated. Louis realizes his calculations can't predict magic. Louis's eyes harden with a new resolve. He'll use Sen no Sen, a preemptive counter. His eyes glow, ready to turn their power against them. Their leader screams for a coordinated assault. The axemen and spearmen rush in to attack, but Louis meets their charge with a confident smirk. He sees the perfect opening and dashes forward. The axeman roars, sure of his killing blow. He brings the massive axe down in a deadly arc, but Louis slides under it, blade ready to strike. The axeman is stunned by his impossible maneuver. He deflects a spear right into the other's face. A second spearman screams, blinded by the attack. The archer fires another enchanted arrow from above, but Louis uses the last spearman as a human shield. The magical arrow pierces right through his own eye. The noble collapses, a victim of friendly fire. Louis grabs the fallen spear, his eyes cold. He hurls it back with incredible force. The projectile smashes into the archer's perch. Louis moves like a blur, taking them all down. Their golden emblems fly into the air. He snatches them, claiming his prize. He declares he's taking their emblems now. The leader screams for a full-power magic assault, but Kane's voice cuts through the chaos. The noble leader is suddenly sent flying. Kane reveals he's disabled his magic. The leader panics, his ambush plan in ruins. Kane smirks, he made them reveal their plan. The noble leader screams, vowing to take them both down. But a crossbow bolt suddenly takes him out. Louis turns to Kane, confirming he's safe. Kane dismisses them and offers Louis the spoils. But Louis refuses, determined to handle his own fights. A new voice applauds his impressive resolve. The red-haired brawler steps forward, demanding a fight. Kane identifies her as Faye Durahan, a Grand Master's daughter. He denies their friends, calling her muscle brain. He admits he lost to her once before. Faye demands an answer to her challenge. Enraged, she calls them cowards for trying to flee. Louis smirks, eager to test a great family's power. She grins, promising a fair fight without magic. She rockets forward with a devastating lance slam. But Louis's eyes glow with cold, hard focus. He meets her charge, stopping the lance with his blade. She smirks, surprised by his raw strength. She admits he's actually pretty good. She grins, pouring more power into her strike. The sheer force of her attack pushes Louis back. She leaps back, ready for another devastating strike. She unleashes her family's sacred lance technique. The impact shatters the ground in a massive explosion. From afar, two instructors watch the battle unfold. They praise Faye's flawless and powerful technique, but they believe the commoner is out of his league. The principal appears, asked to predict the winner. He admits that Louis can't win this fight. Battle is a clash of will, but there's another factor. The ground shatters, kicking up a wall of dust. But Faye is already airborne, unleashing another sacred lance. Louis's calculations predict every single thrust. She's stunned he can keep up with her speed. His eyes glow with power as he finds an opening. A strange energy suddenly envelops her lance. He flips, meeting her attack from an impossible angle. He catches the lance with his bare hand. Faye can't believe he stopped her signature move. She pours in more power, sending him flying back. He dodges a series of rapid-fire energy rings. Faye admits even Kane couldn't evade that attack. But Louis says it's easy if you just pay attention. Enraged, she unleashes her full power. Her lance slams down with explosive force. She leaps, unleashing the sacred lance, Crescent Fall. Louis's mind races, analyzing her every move. He knows the spear's reach is a major threat, but he's already found her fatal weaknesses. Faye unleashes another powerful spinning technique. He identifies her one weakness, close combat. If he can just close the distance instantly, he can unleash his own counter, Sword Dance. But Faye just smirks, anticipating his move. She declares his simple plan will never work. She plants her foot, pivoting with immense force. A powerful spin creates an impenetrable defense. Louis is stunned, his attack was completely nullified. She laughs, claiming her family's technique is flawless. She unleashes a devastating blast of pure energy. The instructors praise Faye's incredible talent, certain Louis has lost. But Louis roars, refusing to back down. He unleashes a defensive technique, Sword Net. He knows her attacks drain immense stamina. If he defends perfectly, an opening will appear. Faye continues her relentless, powerful assault. Louis's eyes glow, he's found his chance. He dives in, aiming for a single weak point. But the force of the impact shatters his blade. The broken tip of his sword clatters to the ground. Louis is stunned, his only weapon now useless. Faye watches him, her expression unreadable. She admits his counterattack plan was impressive. Louis just blames it on his terrible luck. But Faye accuses him of holding back his power. He smirks, promising to finally get serious. She reminds him that his weapon is shattered. Louis just flexes his hand, ready to fight. He reveals he's actually better with his fists. Faye analyzes his new stance, finding no openings. We flash back to his training, a leaf in hand. Faye's eyes narrow as she prepares to strike. She stomps the ground, kicking off with raw power. She unleashes a devastating spinning lance charge. Louis braces himself, ready for the impact. Kane screams a warning about her deadly technique. But Louis's eyes glow with a strange blue power. He wraps his fist, channeling a fiery energy. He meets her spinning charge with a single punch. He roars, pushing back with all his might. Kane watches from the side, completely stunned. Faye's eyes widen, her confidence shattered. She screams in disbelief. He's stopped her lance. The instructors question how he broke her defense. But Faye roars, refusing to accept defeat. She unleashes a furious, sweeping attack. Her eyes glow, promising a new level of power. She slams her lance into the ground with fury. Louis's eyes narrow, sensing the next move. Suddenly, multiple afterimages surround and attack him. Her afterimages blur into a storm of lance strikes. They converge on Louis from every single angle. But Louis just smirks, completely unfazed by the attack. He unleashes his own afterimage technique in response. His hand shoots out to meet the spinning lance. He grabs the spear, stopping it dead in its tracks. The entire barrage of attacks is completely neutralized. Faye can only stare in utter disbelief. Kane realizes he's using a technique to stop the spin. The principal admits he's never seen anything like it. Louis roars, his hands a blur of motion. The impact sends them both flying backward. Faye digs her lance in, struggling to stay upright. She seethes, unable to believe her attack failed. She demands to know what kind of technique he used. He explains it's a parry that cancels rotational force. Faye is completely baffled by his martial arts logic. Louis tells her not to worry about the details. Her eyes widen as he suddenly lunges forward. He closes the distance, ready to strike. He moves like a blur, weaving around her attacks. Faye brings her lance down with incredible force. But Louis is already gone, a phantom on the field. Kane can't believe what he's seeing. His movements are like a butterfly, impossible to track. Faye seethes, unable to land a single blow. He's using a legendary boxer's footwork. The butterfly step has a hard-to-catch rhythm. It's the perfect technique for this situation. He lands a solid punch, sending her stumbling back. The blow sends Faye reeling across the field. Kane can't believe he sent her flying. Even the principal admits this is unexpected. He notes that few can beat Faye without magic. He calls Louis a genius in hand-to-hand combat. But Faye rises, declaring the fight isn't over. Louis watches her, his fist still smoking. She plants her spear, vowing not to lose. A spectral warrior appears as she unleashes a new attack. Louis realizes she's using spear-based martial arts. Faye roars, lunging forward with a powerful punch. But Louis counters with a Wing Chun stance. He meets her downward strike with a Pak Sao. She unleashes her family's crushing fist technique. Their fists collide in a furious flurry of blows. He recognizes the impact is similar to inch power. She reveals her family excels at hand-to-hand combat. She unleashes a barrage of glowing energy fists. Louis grins, switching to a boxing stance. Their powerful techniques clash in a huge explosion. Louis's eyes glow. This is the fight he envisioned. His heart pounds, demanding more and more power. A terrifying intensity burns within his red eyes. A demonic aura erupts, promising to enjoy the fight. Faye is stunned by the sudden shift in power. A terrifying face of pure energy roars before her. She's paralyzed, her body refusing to move. He slams a powerful kick right into her face. The impact sends her flying across the arena. The principal is stunned, questioning what he just saw. Faye tumbles through the air, crashing hard. She struggles to her knees, utterly defeated. The instructors can only watch in disbelief. Their stunned a commoner could corner Faye. Suddenly, one of them clutches his head in agony. He doubles over, violently ill from the pressure. He feels a terrifying, sickening presence. It's Louis's demonic aura, a legendary power. The other instructor seethes, their plan has failed. Brian realizes if the legend is true. The instructor realizes this kid cannot be allowed to live. Faye is completely stunned by his terrifying power. He moves like a demon, a blur of pure red energy. A brutal punch sends blood flying from her mouth. She hits the ground hard as he leaps into the air. He roars, preparing to deliver the final blow. A pillar of dark energy slams down from above. She knows his power is on a completely different level. A massive fist of pure demonic energy forms above her. She realizes that at this rate she's going to die. But Faye unleashes her own technique, martial arcane. Louis's blaze fist slams down to meet her. Their powers collide in a massive, fiery explosion. The blast sends Faye flying across the field. She smashes through trees, completely overwhelmed. Louis lands, the ground shattered beneath him. The demonic power fades as he snaps back to reality. He stares at his hand, realizing he just used magic. Kane rushes over, but Louis is worried about Faye. An instructor appears, declaring Louis has lost his emblem. He declares that Louis is officially disqualified. Louis stares in shock as his emblem catches fire. The golden token is engulfed in magical flames. It crumbles into ash, sealing his elimination. Kane rushes forward, arguing it was an accident. The instructor says the principal saw everything. He shoves Louis, telling the trash to disappear. But a battered voice shouts for them to hold on. The instructor and Kane turn in surprise. Louis looks up, stunned by his unlikely defender. Faye emerges from the trees, bruised but not broken. The instructor asks if she's willing to be disqualified too. She shouts him down, knowing Louis's emblem is gone. She apologizes for using magic, stunning Kane. She declares Louis the winner of their duel. The instructor scoffs, saying she can't enroll anyway. Faye rips a cloth from her uniform. offering it to Louis as a reward for his victory. It's filled with emblems, bringing his total to 14. She argues his victory should still count. Faye gets Kane's attention, calling him pretty boy. She won't let the deserving fail while the weak pass. She kicks her lance up, ready for a new fight. She asks what happens if 10th place has 14 emblems. Kane smirks, realizing he had the same idea. They bicker, then rush off to hunt for more emblems. Louis watches them go with a knowing smile. The instructor officially disqualifies him from the exam. As he's led away, a noble vows this isn't over. The noble seethes, knowing Faye's plan could save Louis. The noble smirks, planning a fatal accident. He orders his ally Sheath to handle the job. The principal recalls Louis's terrifying demonic power. He remembers being told martial arts alone can't beat magic. He came to the academy to fuse both powers. The scene shifts to the dark, moonlit night. A figure steps forward under the moonlight. Louis worries about his torn clothes and his mother. He knows the truth will only make her worry. A hooded figure suddenly attacks him from behind, but Louis catches the blade with his bare hand. A powerful kick sends the assassin flying. The stunned assassin asks how he was detected. Louis explains the scent of blood gave him away. The assassins mock his calm before certain death. He realizes these are skilled killers, forcing him to get serious. His eyes lock onto a shadowy figure in the distance. The leader lunges, punishing his momentary distraction. He screams, vowing to take the boy's head. But a strange power awakens in Louis's eyes. Louis weaves through the attack, a blur of motion. His eyes glow as he channels a strange blue power. He twists, sending the assassin flying to the ground. A brutal kick intercepts the next attacker's lunge. The killer is sent spinning back toward his allies. The leader confirms Louis's skills match their intel. Louis is stunned, someone has been watching him. The leader scoffs, asking how he'll handle magic. 3 assassins unleash a volley of enchanted bolts. Louis is shocked, with no time to evade the attack. The magical bolts slam into the trees around him. He focuses, preparing a special breathing technique. He channels his chi, unlocking his body's full potential. His eyes glow, promising a new level of power and speed. He explodes forward in a blur of blue energy. The assassins mock him, firing another volley. He weaves between the crisscrossing magical bolts. The killers are stunned by his impossible speed. He vanishes, reappearing right behind the stunned group. The leader can only watch in horror, completely outmaneuvered. A brutal axe kick sends an assassin sprawling, but more magical bolts force him to the ground. The leader screams for his men to stop him. A new killer descends with a powerful kick, but Louis meets the attack with a blur of motion. He catches a poison needle between his fingers. The force of the blow sends him sliding back. He realizes this new opponent is different. The true leader reveals himself, a powerful foe. The others surround him, unleashing a binding spell. Louis is completely surrounded by the binding spell. Beams of magical energy crisscross, trapping him inside. The spell slams him to the ground, seemingly defeated. The assassins gloat, thinking the fight is finally over. They can't believe a commoner was this much trouble. But Louis's eyes suddenly glow with a brilliant blue light. He rises, facing down an axe-wielding killer. He blocks the heavy blade with his bare arm. A new threat prepares a deadly strike from behind. A skeletal killer appears, aiming for a fatal blow. A burst of energy sends the assassins flying. The leader scoffs, asking if he was playing dead. But Louis stands over a fallen killer unharmed. The leader applauds his impressive skills. He calls his own men trash, completely unconcerned. Enraged, Louis rushes forward to attack. The leader sees his afterimages approaching. He admits he's under orders from someone else. He even wishes he could make Louis his disciple. The massive hammer slams down with crushing force. The impact shatters the forest floor. Louis is sent flying, coughing up blood. The leader lands, unimpressed by his resilience. He admits Louis' skills are above an apprentice, but against a true master he's nothing. Louis glares back, refusing to be intimidated. The leader leaps high, preparing a finishing blow. He plummets down, wreathed in dark energy. Tendrils of shadow lash out from his body. The attack hits, kicking up a massive dust cloud. The leader watches, shocked by his resilience. He can't believe Louis is somehow still alive. Louis struggles up, refusing to die here. But the killer declares his life ends now. He summons a massive, glowing magical hammer. It's his ultimate technique, Celestial Hammer. The dark energy plummets toward the ground, but Louis roars, vowing he absolutely cannot die. He must master magic to protect his family. His eyes glow red, ready to pay any price. A demonic power erupts from his fist. He meets the Celestial Hammer head-on. The assassin leader can't believe his eyes. Their powers collide in a blinding flash, tearing through the entire forest. Louis collapses, battered but somehow alive. The leader is stunned by the strange power. He felt like he was fighting an equal. He now understands why his master wants Louis dead. He calls Louis a monster, raising his hammer to strike. But a voice roars, stopping the final blow. A whirlwind of green energy sends the assassin flying. He's tossed helplessly through the magical storm. The killer is stunned, questioning this new power. The green energy swirls, growing even more intense. He screams in agony as the magic tears him apart. Louis watches from the ground, completely bewildered. The academy's principal descends from the sky. Louis looks up, stunned by his sudden arrival. The principal says he suppressed the rampage, offering a potion. Louis chugs the potion as the principal watches. The assassin leader is hurled into the trees. The principal demands to know who ordered the hit. The killer warns he can't protect the monster. The principal's eyes narrow in cold fury. The assassin laughs, promising this is just the start. He suddenly explodes in a gory blast. The principal wonders if this was a guild-ordered suicide. Louis is amazed by the potion's healing power. Green energy mends even his fractured bones. Louis asks if the principal's arrival was just a coincidence. He demands to know why the principal keeps saving him. The principal promises to explain everything at Louis's home. Louis panics, realizing how worried his mother must be. He bolts away, desperate to get back to his mother. The principal summons a shadow familiar to handle the cleanup. The shadow creature descends to erase all evidence. The scene shifts to a confrontation in a small town. Two men corner a nun, accusing her of corruption. The leader grabs her wrist, promising a punishment. A brutal strike sends the first man reeling. Louis sends the thug flying with a powerful kick. The nun is shocked to see Louis has returned. She covers her mouth, horrified by the violence. He rushes to his mother, asking if she's all right. She sees his torn clothes and the blood on his face. He lies, claiming he just snagged his clothes on a tree. The other man accuses him of picking a fight with the Lord. He threatens to report Louis to the authorities, but the principal descends, declaring it's a misunderstanding. He introduces himself as the academy's principal. The thugs realize he's a powerful grand master. He gives them a chilling, unspoken warning. Terrified, they bow and promise to obey. He turns to Louis's mother with a proposal. Inside their home, she offers him a seat. He notices a strange millstone that runs without magic. Looking closer, he sees these inventions are everywhere. The entire house is filled with his creations. Louis demonstrates another of his mechanical devices. His mother explains Louis invented everything himself. She asks if he caused trouble, but the principal praises him. The principal recognizes his talent from ancient scripture. He recalls a time when monsters ruled the world. A single hero created martial arcane to fight back. His victory became known as Liberation Day. The scripture calls him the world's first hero. Louis notes that folk legends don't mention a hero, but the principal says the hero appears in a different form. He reveals the hero had black hair and black eyes. The principal reveals a secret known to the world's elite. The hero who saved humanity was consumed by madness. He committed an unspeakable massacre, killing everyone. This inner madness became a curse passed down. Louis realizes this dark power resides within him. Now, anyone with his features must be eliminated. The principal reveals he knows about the hair. His mother confesses, begging for her son's life, but Louis calmly steps forward to protect her. He knows the principal is here for another reason. The principal praises him for taming his inner madness. Louis and his mother are stunned by the revelation. He explains the world may seem peaceful on the surface, but a great darkness lurks just beneath it all. He holds an apple to the moon, calling legends absurd. He wants to guide Louis for the future of humanity. He suddenly tosses the apple right at him. Louis catches it, his eyes filled with determination. He reveals Faye and Kane's rampage ensured Louis passed. He offers Louis personal instruction at the academy. Louis asks if he's betting on him, even if he goes berserk. The principal's eyes glow with cold resolve. Louis is stunned by the intensity of his gaze. He vows to kill Louis himself if that day ever comes. The next day, a friend is shocked by the principal's offer, but Louis is already stressing about the academy's fees. He's still haunted by his connection to the legendary hero. He grapples with the darkness lurking inside him. He recalls the principal revealing his hidden secret, and the chilling promise that came with his offer. The principal says his mother's ignorance is a burden. Louis fiercely defends her, shouting she's not a burden. But the principal warns the truth is her only shield. He floats away with a final command, become stronger. Louis' resolve hardens, his real trials have just begun. The next day, the village children rush to greet him. He kneels down, catching a little girl in a hug. She tearfully asks if he'll ever come back home. He smiles, promising to return during long breaks. He seals his promise to her with a pinky swear. A friend tells Louis a noble's butler is here for him. A man in a top hat approaches from a lavish carriage. He's the butler for the Aranka family, with an invitation. It's from Kane, who wants to be friends before school. Louis accepts and is led to the waiting carriage. They travel to the bustling city of Harzan. The butler explains the town was built by the Arankas. Louis is completely stunned by the massive family estate. Kane rushes out from the mansion, calling his name. He teases Louis about the scene he caused at the exam. Louis argues he passed the exam on his own merit, but Kane grabs him, demanding a spar before school. He offers to teach Louis about magic in exchange. A stern voice suddenly interrupts their banter. An imposing woman glares down from the stairs. Kane quickly introduces Louis as his new friend, but she silences him with a single furious word. Kane freezes, completely terrified by her anger. His mother scolds him for bringing a commoner home. She declares Louis is unworthy of being his friend. She takes a single, intimidating step forward. She demands to know if he's after money or power. She offers him a ring worth a lifetime of wealth. She throws the bribe down, ordering him to leave. Her face is a mask of pure aristocratic contempt. Kane shouts at his mother, furious at her actions. He turns to Louis, offering a sincere apology. Louis kneels, explaining he befriended Kane for his talent. He asks if her son's word is worth so little. Kane is stunned by his friend's powerful defense. Her eyes narrow as she summons her men. She orders them to throw the commoner out immediately. Kane shields Louis, insisting he even defeated Faye. She scoffs, calling his claims ridiculous lies. Louis declares he will make Kane even stronger. She screams at him for mocking the Aranka family. The guards move in to seize the two boys, but a powerful figure suddenly appears in the door. He heard Louis's bold claim about Kane's potential. He asks Louis to repeat what he just said. The head of the house, Master Aranka, arrives. Kane's mother is stunned by her husband's appearance. She argues that Kane will fall behind without action, but her husband simply walks right past her. Kane bows respectfully before his powerful father. Louis introduces himself, sensing immense power. The father asks if Louis's claims are true. His piercing gaze locks onto the commoner boy. He unleashes a terrifying aura, demanding proof. Louis is stunned by the overwhelming killing intent. A spectral wolf of pure red energy lunges. It slams into Louis, crushing the air from his lungs. He realizes this man's power is on another level. Master Aranka's eyes burn with lethal intent. Louis trembles, bracing himself against the pressure. He understands this isn't a test, it's an execution. But Louis's own willpower flares to life. The pressure nearly tore his soul from his body. He meets the Grand Master's power with his own. His monster hunting has forged a resistance to fear. He smirks, this level of pressure is nothing. His own fiery aura erupts, pushing back. Master Aranka can't believe what he's seeing. A demonic beast of pure fire roars behind him. His eyes burn with a terrifying, inhuman power. Their spectral beasts clash in a battle of wills. The two stand as equals in the storm of energy. Kane screams his friend's name in terror. The immense pressure suddenly vanishes. Louis falls to his knees, the strain immense. Kane rushes to help his exhausted friend. The father asks why Louis seeks so much power. Louis declares he fights to protect his family. His answer earns a flicker of respect. He orders Kane to learn from Louis's willpower. His wife is stunned by his sudden approval, but his cold glare silences her protest. She can only tremble in silent fury. Kane grins, ready to head to the training grounds. At the grounds, Kane apologizes for his parents. Louis tells Kane not to worry about his father. Kane admits his father only respects true merit. Louis suggests it was his father's way of showing love. Kane looks to the sky, lost in thought. He questions the very idea of his father's love. A flashback reveals his isolated childhood. His entire life has been a cycle of endless training. He fought relentlessly to fulfill his father's dream. All he ever wanted was his father's approval. The grand estate felt more like a prison than a home. The praise of adults felt like chains around him. The tighter they bound him, the more he craved freedom. He dreamed of singing freely like a bard, or flying like a bird across the continent. But this is a world where only strength matters. And right now, he knows he's far too weak. He doesn't want strength for its own sake, but swinging a sword is the only way to break his chains. He'll follow his father's path to the academy, to earn the right to finally live freely. Kane puts his faith in his new friend's promise. Louis accepts the challenge, taking a ready stance. As they spar, Master Aranka watches from afar. He asks his butler for the results of the investigation. The report confirms Louis used unknown combat techniques. He not only broke records but defeated Faye's magic. The principal even fought an assassin guild for him. Master Aranka notes the boy is a serious troublemaker. The butler asks why he let a troublemaker near Kane. He explains that overcoming danger is how people grow. A brutal leg sweep sends Kane flying. Master Aranka realizes Louis can truly make Kane stronger. Kane unleashes a powerful, glowing sword technique. Louis grins, demanding Kane use his full power. The father admits his son's judgment was superior. Kane lunges with his martial arcane, Wind Lun. A strange blue power awakens in Louis's eyes. Kane is stunned by the sudden burst of energy, but Louis closes the distance, blocking the strike. He notes that magic makes his movements too linear. Kane admits Louis easily countered his magic. Louis asks if Kane feels something is wrong with his style. Kane is confused, his techniques are family secrets. Louis insists there's another path to power. Kane is stunned by the idea of a different way. Louis demonstrates with a wooden training sword. He offers to teach Kane how to surprise his father. From a distance, Master Aranka watches them. The Grand Master's expression is unreadable. The boys head into the forest to begin their training. Master Aranka watches as the boys begin their intense training. Louis explains that in martial arts, speed is everything. It's more than movement, it's reaction and decision-making. He points out Kane's natural speed is his greatest asset. It pairs well with his wind magic, but thrusts are difficult. This limitation may be why his father never surpassed his rank. To unlock his true potential, Kane needs a new fighting style. Louis takes a new stance, asking if he's ready for it. Kane grins, vowing to do anything to earn his freedom. Louis lays out the new philosophy, constant movement and retreat. They vow to show his father their true power. They leap forward, launching a coordinated assault. Kane uses his wind magic to accelerate their attack. He plummets down in a blur of green energy. The butler panics, but his master is unfazed. Kane zips past his father in a flash of green. The boys circle him, a whirlwind of motion. Louis explains the speed and agility of daggers. Their true advantage must be pushed to the limit. He unleashes his butterfly step to overwhelm his foe. Master Aranka is caught completely off guard. Louis' afterimages swarm the Grand Master. Kane joins in, using his wind magic to accelerate. They launch a coordinated aerial assault. Kane feels his body move with impossible lightness. It's the freedom he's always dreamed of. He finally feels the thrill of true power. He's fusing daggers, martial arts, and wind magic. Master Aranka turns, his composure finally broken. He can't believe what he is seeing. Kane roars, declaring this is his new martial way. But his father is completely unimpressed by the display. A blast of dark energy sends both boys flying. He scoffs at them for abandoning their clan's techniques. The boys are thrown back but quickly recover their footing. Louis shouts for Kane to accelerate their attack. Kane unleashes his wind magic, boosting their speed. They launch a coordinated, cross-shaped assault. The Grand Master's expression finally shifts. A whirlwind of green slashes rains down upon him. Master Aranka's eyes glow with lethal red energy. He scoffs, asking if their attack is all they have. His bare hand stops Kane's blade mid-strike. The young noble is sent flying backward. The Grand Master's face twists with disappointment. He roars at his son, calling him a coward. But Louis' lesson echoes, retreating builds power. Kane channels wind magic through his feet. He launches forward, turning retreat into a new attack. He unleashes his wind magic, Tornado. Louis joins the assault, a blur of coordinated strikes. For the first time, the Grand Master looks stunned. They roar, unleashing their combined power from above. A flashback reveals Louis' next lesson, the change-up. His eyes glow, ready to teach a new kind of deception. He demonstrates the principle with a training blade. Kane struggles to parry the unpredictable rhythm. They spar, honing the new and unorthodox style. Louis explains how to deceive with speed variations. By controlling the tempo, they can overwhelm any foe. They unleash their new, unpredictable assault. But Master Aranka dodges with contemptuous ease. Kane lunges, his blade a streak of green light. The Grand Master calls the attack slow and worthless. But Kane's eyes burn with fierce determination. He vaults over his father, a blur of motion. The Grand Master watches the boy fly past. The boys grin, ready for the next wave. They swarm him from every possible angle. Finally, the father roars that he's had enough. The boys stand back to back, ready for more. The Grand Master calls out his son's name. Kane sweats, but his eyes burn with resolve. He warns Kane not to disgrace the Aranka name. Kane grins, promising to obey his father. The Grand Master walks away, his butler confused. He reflects on their unpredictable high-speed style. The concept of retreating as a tactic is new. He can't believe he's learning from children. Louis watches them go, the spar already over. Kane is ecstatic, feeling recognized for the first time. He leads Louis to the massive Aranka family library. Louis is stunned by the endless rows of books. Kane offers him a box as thanks for his guidance. Louis is taken aback by the generous gesture. Inside are rare books, scrolls, and a bag of gold. Kane explains it's full of rare magic texts. The books detail the Academy's curriculum and rituals. Louis asks about the required magic awakening ritual. It's a costly ritual to awaken one's magic potential. Louis panics, realizing the ritual costs a fortune. But Kane explains the Academy has other hidden fees. He asks if this generous gift settles their debt. Louis agrees, already plotting how to earn more money. A brilliant idea strikes him, his past life's knowledge. He asks Kane about connections to merchant guilds. Louis winks, promising he'll find out soon enough. 1 week later, students arrive for the entrance ceremony. Louis walks onto the grounds, ready for his new life. But he stops, catching a familiar, unpleasant scent. A pink-haired girl judges him by his expensive cologne. She introduces herself as Rose, offering a tour. He accepts, giving his name as Louis Kirill. She wonders if he's some noble's illegitimate son. As they walk, she explains the Academy's political landscape. With the emperor aging, the heirs fight the nobles for power. The Academy is their battleground, a place of hidden conflict. Behind a peaceful facade is a fierce struggle for resources. She warns that students who get targeted are expelled. Louis processes the grim reality of his new school. She gets close, asking which political faction he serves. He's flustered as she demands to know his allegiance. But a hand suddenly separates the two of them. A new student, Brian, identifies the commoner freshman. Rose is stunned, realizing he's just a commoner. Disgusted, she storms off, calling it a waste of time. Louis offers a polite greeting to the new student. Brian tells him not to worry about her snobbery. They shake hands as Brian explains the academy's politics. Suddenly, Kane rushes over, calling out Louis' name. Brian waves goodbye, offering his help anytime. Louis watches him leave, a bit suspicious. But Kane approaches, looking annoyed by the interaction. He asks what Louis was discussing with Brian. Kane reveals Brian is the powerful Chancellor's son. He admits Brian is decent but calls him weak-willed. Louis retorts that Kane says that about everyone. Faye and Miliana arrive, with Faye teasing Kane. She thanks Louis for his help during the exam, but she clenches her fist, vowing to win next time. Faye challenges Kane, demanding a fight to settle things, but Miliana pulls her away to finish their registration. Kane hands Louis a heavy bag of gold coins. He explains it's from their new business venture. A flashback reveals Louis' secret, a new perfume. He used his past knowledge to create a unique scent. Kane is stunned by how much money they earned. They agree to keep their business venture a secret. At registration, Louis receives his academy credit card, but other students whisper about the commoner's arrival. Kane reveals Sheath hired the assassins to kill him. Louis' face darkens, it was him after all. Kane warns him about Sheath's dangerous older brother. A new threat appears, Sheath's brother Jess. Jess smirks, promising to make Louis suffer slowly. Inside the grand hall, the entrance ceremony begins. A man on stage praises their difficult journey. He urges them to become pillars of the empire. He then calls the freshman representative to the stage. A barefoot student walks up the stone steps. He's a shirtless brawler with a massive axe. The students are stunned by his savage appearance. Even the principal is shocked by this display. He addresses the entire hall, calling them morons. He declares his goal, to beat everyone senseless. The noble students erupt in absolute fury, but he screams back, calling them all weaklings. The faculty can only watch this chaos unfold. He points his weapon, declaring his main target. He hurls his massive axe into the crowd. The massive axe slams into the stone floor. It lands just inches from Louis' feet. The weapon stands embedded in the shattered ground. The brawler's target is Louis Kirill. He lands gracefully on the handle of his axe. The savage fighter stares down at our boy. He grins, issuing a direct challenge to fight. But Louis meets his gaze without a hint of fear. The brawler declares they are going to fight, but Kane steps in, telling him to back off. The brawler mocks Louis, asking if he's a coward like Kane. Kane's face contorts with pure unbridled rage. Louis tries to hold him back, but Kane is furious. He lunges forward, throwing a wild punch, but Louis catches the strike with effortless grace. He holds his friend's wrist, telling him to calm down. The brawler grins, ready to fight them both at once. But Brian steps in, addressing the brawler as Neil. He warns that this selfish attitude won't last at the academy. Neil scoffs, telling the Chancellor's son to get lost. The noble students are furious at Neil's disrespect. They question how a commoner with no manners got in. But Brian tells his defender to stand down. Neil grins, ready to smash the Chancellor's son. Suddenly, a teacher's hand stops the brawler. He reminds them unsanctioned fights mean expulsion. The teacher's warning carries a heavy threat. Neil just laughs, admitting he can't get expelled. He agrees to put the fight on hold for now, but he promises Louis Kirill their battle is coming. Louis' expression remains cold and unreadable. The chaotic entrance ceremony finally comes to an end. Louis wonders why the brawler targeted him specifically. Faye smacks Kane, scolding them for their recklessness. She admits the brawler's grudge is actually her fault. She fought Neil to a draw during the final exam. Louis tells her not to worry about the challenge. As the trio leaves, they feel the tension. Every student in the hall glares with contempt. They make their way to the academy's main shop. Louis is horrified by the academy's exorbitant prices. The shopkeeper pitches a simple pillow for 30 silver coins. A magic pillow costs 5 gold, making him wince. Kane smirks, reminding him how vital money is here. He reluctantly buys the cheapest starter set he can find. He's glad for his perfume money, planning to send some home. But training potions are essential, and he needs to earn more. The girls head to the dorms, mentioning tomorrow's ritual. Louis is overwhelmed by the need to earn more money. They finally arrive at the Grand Academy dormitory. Louis searches for his room, hoping for a quiet life. But he bumps into someone dropping his things. A commotion from a nearby room catches his attention. Inside, a group of bullies corners a smaller student. The boy remains silent, trapped against the wall. One of the thugs seethes with absolute rage. He grabs the student, demanding a fight. But a hand taps his chest with a jolt of power. The bully screams as energy surges through his arm. Louis calmly reminds him about the expulsion rule. The thugs claim innocence, saying they haven't started. But the leader lunges, screaming at self-defense. Louis effortlessly parries the punch with one hand, redirecting the fist into another bully's face. The thug goes flying, stunning the entire group. Louis smirks, asking when he ever laid a hand on them. The puncher is stunned as his friend cries in pain. A quick unseen kick strikes the leader's shin. The jolt makes him kick another one of his cronies. Another bully falls and the group is utterly bewildered. A jolt of energy strikes another bully's chest. The thug convulses, his face a mask of pure shock. Louis stomps on the leader's foot unseen. The chain reaction sends the entire group tumbling down. The leader accuses his own men of attacking him. He finally realizes Louis is behind the chaos. Louis smirks, mocking their complete incompetence. The bully screams that Louis controlled his body. The word monster strikes a dangerous chord. Louis steps forward, his aura now terrifying. The student he saved stands beside him, clutching his things. Louis asks if they really want to leave things like this. He offers to take their complaints straight to the principal. The terrified thugs flee, screaming that he's not normal. The quiet student reveals he's Louis' new roommate. He bows his head shyly, avoiding eye contact. A tag on his belongings reveals his name, Kara Candies. Kara walks into their room without another word. Louis is left alone, bewildered by the interaction. He realizes his new roommate is the type to get bullied. Louis reflects on his chaotic first day. The next day, students kneel in a vast temple. Shadowy figures with glowing eyes watch over a ritual circle. The students file into the Grand Academy temple. His roommate Kara pats his head in awe. A priest introduces them to the goddess Gaia. He explains how Gaia created a world for all. But monsters grew too powerful. Dragons ruled the sky. Behemoths ruled the land with brutal strength. And krakens ruled the sea, bathing the world in blood. And the demon king ruled over them all. Enraged by the slaughter, Gaia took action. She blessed humanity with the 4 elements. From this gift, martial arcane was born. The priest declares they will now receive that blessing. Louis notes the story omits the first hero. He and Kara listen with intense focus. The priest suddenly calls out to the two of them. He instructs them to follow him to the circle. If they have talent, they will sense the elements. But the priest warns that talentless trash will be cast out. Louis stares back, his expression unreadable. The priest declares the academy has no need for failures. He orders the other students to sit as the ritual begins. Louis wonders why this teacher has singled him out. The priest explains the 4 elements are the world's foundation. He tells them to sharpen their minds and sense the power. He raises his hands, beginning a prayer to the goddess. The temple floor erupts with glowing elemental circles. A beam of light strikes a fire sigil, activating the ritual. The water sigil flares, bathing the temple in light. Beams of energy converge on the massive goddess statue. Her eyes blaze with a divine, overwhelming power. The priest channels the elements before the radiant goddess. A wave of energy blasts through the kneeling students. The temple dissolves into a breathtaking cosmic vision. They sit in awe as elemental lights drift around them. Students awaken their affinities, one with fire, one with water. A massive fire vortex erupts from a single student. The brawler Neil awakens 2 attributes, earth and fire. The other students are stunned by his raw talent. Neil laughs, his eyes blazing with fiery power. His energy explodes, knocking back the other students. He roars that the elements will obey his will. He glances back at the remaining students. He challenges Louis, demanding he prove his worth. Kane worries, seeing no elements around his friend. But Louis senses nothing, surrounded by darkness. He wonders if his past life is blocking his magic. But he recalls a strange power from his spar with Kane. A strange, cloudy force smothers his mind. But he grits his teeth, refusing to submit. His past self's willpower roars to life. Blue energy crackles in his eyes, fighting back. He unleashes his power, blowing the darkness away. A massive explosion of light erupts from his body. The cosmic vision returns as a golden pillar descends. His eyes widen, reflecting the elemental lights. 4 different colors drift around him in the void. The priest is stunned. He tried to block Louis' mind. Louis reaches out to glowing blue elemental orb. But his hand passes right through the energy. He can sense the elements but cannot touch them. Back in the temple, he struggles against an unseen force. His roommate Kara watches as he seethes in frustration. The priest scoffs, declaring his efforts are useless. A special confinement circle blocks his spirit from the elements. A magic forbidden orb further weakens his connection. He tells Louis to blame himself for making enemies. He's been paid to ensure Louis fails this ritual. The priest and his employers leave under the moonlight. Other students mock Louis, calling him a failure. Louis strains, fighting the invisible magical pressure. But his roommate Kara remains strangely focused. He taps Louis, pointing to the floor beneath them. Kara's eyes narrow, he realizes it's a trap. Louis' face twists with rage at the betrayal. He refuses to be a pawn in their game. He smashes his fist into the confinement circle. The result of his desperate act surprises even him. The purple confinement circle shatters beneath him. Kara tells him to hurry and grab the magic item. He gives his new roommate a grateful nod. He wonders why the item was hidden here. He suspects this was no mere coincidence. A flashback shows the priest watching Kara walk away. He pushes the thought aside, the real ritual begins. He returns to the cosmic vision, free of the seal. The elemental lights now swarm around him. They converge, forming a massive elemental vortex. The other students compare his vortex to Neil's. His hair turns white, his body glowing with power.